Hi, and welcome to this AI and C# video on the Microsoft Agent Framework. Today we're going to look into OpenAI Responses API yet again. And in this case, we are looking more specifically into the way you can resume conversations. Because what we have seen in the video about conversation threads is there is the agent thread that can keep track of this information, and then you can serialize and deserialize that so you can store the various conversations you have, or you can do a self-implemented way. Then there's Azure AI Foundry, where the entire agent and all threads are saved up in the cloud. Well, the Responses API is sort of in the middle of those two. So let's go into the code and see how it works. So here we are in the sample. The sample is the OpenAI Responses Resume Conversation here. And we are gonna make a client, in this case Azure OpenAI client, but it works in both OpenAI and Azure OpenAI. And we are gonna make our response client, and in our response client, we are gonna just say it's a nice AI, and we're gonna start a new thread. Then we're gonna ask a question with the thread in mind, that is, who is Barack Obama? And without surprise, it's talking about him being the president of the United States. Then we're gonna resume our thread, ask how tall is he? And of course, it knows context now, so now it's talking about how tall is Barack Obama because we have the thread. But then imagine that some time go by, the process is not the same anymore, and the user come back. But what we did was we stored the response to's response ID. So every response from the response client get a response ID back. In our case, it's this ID. And imagine we save that in a database or in local storage on the user's system or anything. We should be able to go back to that thread. And the way that works is that whenever we ask a new question, like for example, what city is he from? Then we can give some extra options where we can, in chat options, give a conversation ID. Because this is how OpenAI works, in that you can, you always tell where did this question come from, what is the previous question from it, and so on. And we can see that up in their thing here, because you can't really see any agents or threads, you can only just see your logs. And up here we can see right now it's in Azure AI, so we can't see it. But if we look at a thing like this, there will always be a previous question. So to see it in real life, let's actually switch quickly over to OpenAI so we can see it. Azure OpenAI doesn't really show it anywhere. So we're gonna comment out this and see it for real. So when we go down here and get the first question, second question, we get a response ID. We can see it ends in 19 BC3. And in the logs up here, we see how tall is he with the response ID up here. Yeah, okay, they don't show the last part. But we can see there's always a previous response ID, which was the one. Okay, we need to go to it. Then, so the way it works, it's always go back to the previous one, up here. So if we have that, we can ask the third question and get the answer back that he's from Honolulu in Hawaii. We still need, of course, if it need to rehydrate a chat to get the information back, that's can be done using the response client, and we can get the response ID and get the text back. But it's nowhere near as cool as the Azure AI Foundry in my book when it comes to that. So I will probably use just keeping the threads alive myself, serializing and deserializing, or I will use the AI Foundry. This middle ground is a bit too cumbersome in my book, but it is possible to do and resume a thread like this. So with that, thank you. See you in the next one.